Hey guys, what is up? Welcome back to the vlog. On popular demand, we are continuing to just make vlogs whenever we can. I know there's been a lot of questions on our last vlog and we will answer those questions, I promise. Except for the location part. Y'all need to stop asking where we live because we're not going to share our location just for safety purposes. Not that I think you're going to come and try to kill my family, but... So anyways, today I'm going to be sharing my first trimester update on how pregnancy has been going. I'm filming in our room because for two reasons. One, it's one of the only places with AC in it and it's just so hot. Give this video a thumbs up if you know what I'm talking about. But yeah, so AC, we got AC in this room. I hope it's not too loud. And then the second reason is we literally don't have couches or chairs or like anything right now, and so there's nothing for me to sit on downstairs, and so we are sitting on the bed, more like leaning back against the bed. But yeah, I'm so excited to finally be sharing first trimester update with you guys. I can't believe I'm already in my second trimester. I'm getting breathless way easier these days. Whew. Anyways, I wanted to share how first trimester was, since now I'm in my second trimester. Today I am 15 weeks and 4 days or something like that. It's so crazy. We're in second trimester. First trimester felt like, because we found out so early, I feel like we found out when I was 4 weeks pregnant. I feel like first trimester was literally so slow because it was like every week was like a milestone. And if you guys don't know, Austin and I actually had a miscarriage back in 2020, and it was really early, and it was probably one of the hardest things we've ever gone through for the past 2 years of just healing and then believing and praying and asking the Lord for another baby, and this baby coming in such a perfect timing. It was all the Lord, and it makes me so happy to share this with you guys. But I honestly don't have many symptoms to share with you about first trimester because I haven't felt pregnant, to be honest. And Austin and I joke about this all the time, but he's like, you don't look pregnant, you don't act pregnant, you haven't been sick at all, are you even pregnant? And even when we went to my first ultrasound, which I'll insert a clip, it was so sweet. We got to hear the baby's heartbeat, and this was when I was about 9 weeks pregnant. And I cried because it was just such a magical moment hearing our baby's heartbeat and just knowing that everything looked good. The baby looked great, the baby looked healthy, and yeah, we were just so thankful, especially with all the traveling and the moving around that we've been doing, all the adjustments. Like, it has been crazy. Even the flight here, we had a nonstop flight for 14 and a half hours, and it was like a breeze. And we decently slept, so that was also a blessing because it's so hard to sleep on planes. I don't know if you guys can relate. So I'm going to share all the things that I didn't experience in my first trimester that most women do, or statistically yeah, this is one of my pregnancy symptoms, is I'll just have like a brain fart. So statistically, there are symptoms that first trimester women usually experience that I didn't experience. So first of all, when we found out I was pregnant, like, I literally didn't even feel pregnant. Everything felt normal. Everything felt like just normal. And so when we found out I was pregnant, which we'll share this story maybe on another vlog of how we found out, but it was actually the Lord who told me, and just in prayer I was feeling that I was pregnant. If you don't know, you can hear the voice of God. That's something that we love to just like share as full-time missionaries, is relationship with God versus religion, where it's just like a set of rules of do's and don'ts. And what does it look like to have relationship with Him when you can actually talk to Him and hear His voice, and He directs your life and helps you and sustains you. He's your provider, He's your all, and it's such a joy to have a relationship with God. Life is so much better when we live in the presence of God and we include Him in every decision, and He blesses that. So anyways, done with my preaching moment. Back to the symptoms that I didn't feel. I had no bloating, and some days I looked like a little bit more, I guess, bloated, but I didn't have the bloating that most moms have when they first find out that they're pregnant. And then for like constant urination, I didn't experience that. Like I didn't constantly get up in the middle of the night to go pee. And then what else? I didn't have any morning sickness in my first trimester, which was like the biggest prayer request for me, because in the 2 years of us waiting, it was a perfect opportunity in the waiting to pray for our future pregnancy and our future baby and ask the Lord, like, God, how did you originally design pregnancy? And we know that we live in a fallen world where we experience death and pain and all this stuff, but like that's not what God originally intended. And so for us, we were like, we want a pregnancy, we want a kingdom pregnancy, the way that God originally designed it to be. And the 2 years of us waiting really built our faith that we could have that. And not having any sickness was such a huge answered prayer for me, because I'm like, Lord, I want to enjoy my pregnancy. I want to still be able to go out and do stuff and hang out with my friends and be able to do what you've called us to do and not just be home and sick. And because that's just no fun. And I'm so sorry for the moms who did experience so much sickness in your pregnancy. This is not an attack against your faith at all, or saying that you should have believed more or whatever. I'm just sharing my personal journey, and I respect every mother out there, because I'm about to discover like how hard it is, but how much of a joy it is as well. And everything that's worth fighting for is messy and it's hard and it's worth it. But that's the joy of it. And if it's not, then maybe it's not worth that much. And so yeah, I didn't have any morning sickness or sickness at all. Another thing that I didn't experience in first trimester is heightened sense of smell. Like I didn't have that. My sense of smell, I felt like, was like pretty much the same. Maybe it was like 1 or 2 times that I noticed like, oh, I smell something that you don't smell, but like it wasn't like very much at all that my smell was not like crazy hypersensitive as most women experience. And maybe that'll come later, I don't know. I'm sure there's so many more things that women experience first trimester that I'm like leaving out, but those are kind of the main things that I can think of right now that I didn't experience. But here's what I did experience. What I noticed almost immediately once I found out that I was pregnant is I definitely was so tired and hungry like all the time. I was always like constantly snacking and napping. And so I did notice like the first few weeks I was just like so tired and so hungry all the time. And then if I didn't drink enough water, I would get like these splitting headaches. Or if I didn't take a nap, then I would have these splitting headaches. And then what else did I experience? Oh yeah, this was a very funny symptom. I noticed that I started sneezing a lot. One day I was just like, I'm noticing that I'm sneezing so much. I wonder if this is like a weird pregnancy symptom. And I looked it up, and it actually is. I guess like your nose is more like sensitive or whatever. Another thing that I experienced in my first trimester is my taste buds changed like a lot. I love coffee, but one day I was just drinking my coffee and it just did not taste the same anymore, and it didn't taste good, and it was the saddest thing ever. Sweet things, if I ate something sweet, like I did not like it. So this baby has kept me eating very healthy. This baby craves protein. I just want protein all the time. I want like healthy whole foods, and if it's like fast food, I kind of am like very hesitant. Another thing that I started to experience was like very, very tender breasts. And I know that that is a very common thing because there's a lot of hormonal changes and shifts, and your womanly parts are getting ready to take care of a baby. So there's a lot going on. So I'm almost at 16 weeks and I'm just starting to look a little bit more bloated. And so I had to look at a picture from when I was 4 weeks pregnant to see if my belly was actually growing, because I was getting a little concerned. I was like, is this normal? Like, I'm not showing at all. I'm not really bloating. Like, is it normal? And it totally is. Every woman carries her baby so differently, and you really can't compare because every pregnancy is different, every baby is different, every woman's body is different. And I'm starting to show a little bit. I'll post a picture. Yeah, we're just so excited for this baby. When we found out we were pregnant, I kind of had this moment of like being kind of sad, because I'm like, I love just my husband and I, like he's my best friend and we do everything together. And Not that a baby will ruin that, but things will just change, and change is okay. Change is fine. It's just different, and it's okay to mourn that season of like, oh, I'm losing this season of just my husband and I. We've been married for almost 3 years, and trying for a baby for 2 years, and we really feel like it was just the Lord in the process of just leading us on a journey of faith and trusting Him and releasing the timeline to Him. And I grew, as a person and in our marriage so much because of what the Lord did in my heart through that just season of waiting and just like hanging on to the promise that He'd given us that we will have a baby. The hardest part about being pregnant, I would say, is the fear. So after you've lost a baby, I've talked to women who've never had a miscarriage, and they said that the fear part is so real. But if you don't go to the Lord every single day, you're always going to be afraid that you're going to lose this baby too. And I remember when I first found out I was pregnant, immediately my thoughts were, oh my gosh, what if I lose this baby too? And I mean immediately I thought that, and just like crippled by the fear of it, and it was almost like anxiety. I remember talking to my husband about it, and I'm just so grateful that the Lord gave me Austin as my husband, because every time I would feel afraid or the enemy would try to lie to me about my body and my ability to carry this child, I would tell Austin and I would pray, go to the Lord, but then I would go to Austin and be like, I'm having so much fear right now, and like this is what I'm feeling, and he would just stop whatever he's doing. He's like, okay, let's pray, like let's get rid of this fear. We are going to stand in faith. God has given us this gift. This is God's promise, and He's going to take care of this child. And honestly, you guys, like, not just for babies, but in all things in life, like, the Lord is the one who holds it. And if we are surrendered to Him, then we can rest in confident assurance that He's got us, and He's got us covered, and we don't have to live in this place of fear, but we can actually have so much confidence, hope, and joy and peace, knowing that our lives are in the hands of the Most High God, who cares about us and who loves us. We've just made it a habit to keep going to the Lord. Every time the fear comes up, we just go to the Lord together in prayer and running to Him, and it becomes easier and easier the more you do it. The devil doesn't necessarily stop trying to place fear in your life or trying to trip you up, because that's just who he is. He kind of sucks like that. But neither does the Lord. He doesn't stop pursuing us. He doesn't stop protecting us and covering us. He doesn't stop being there for us. That's about it for my first trimester update. Thank you for joining me today. Be sure to like and subscribe, and comment below what your favorite part of this video was. If you guys want to see more of a certain topic or content, let me know and we will do our best to produce that. Anyways, love you guys. See you next time.